like MSNBC shared a poll. I'm sorry, we're gonna switch to politics because that was all we had to say for the.
Yeah. We don't have a problem with Drake.
Won,
whatever.
Congratulations, and we'll see you later, Golden State. Let's see what you do. AD went to the Lakers. AD, I'm gonna let y'all know Anthony Davis is not a leader. He's a guy who puts up 20. I think he's 27, 10, and 10, something like that. Whatever numbers they always say.
Yep.
He went to the playoffs twice, and he's not a leader. He didn't lead his teams. He's never been a leader, and that's why his bitch ass is going to play with LeBron. LeBron's a leader, just not a very good one. And if you look at the team Giannis had last year and the team that Anthony Davis had last year, who he even took pieces from his team, Anthony Davis showed you that he was not a leader, and Giannis shows you that he was a leader with similar stats, but different results. Stats don't mean everything. Remember, Kevin Love is supposed to be a top 5 player.
All of that to say, going into politics. Politics.
I don't have the list in front of me, so I don't know if politics was next.
No, politics wasn't next on the list, but we're just going to go into
it.
it
Don't matter. Let's
here.
go to the next.
I mean, the next thing I was going to do then, all right, it's Father's Day. That's what I wanted to say. I know last year we had a whole podcast about it. It was a Rikers Corner podcast, but we had a whole podcast about Father's Day. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all the fathers out there.
Shout them out.
We really appreciate everything that y'all go through. We may not always agree with the decisions that fathers make, but we need fathers, and we're especially talking to black fathers, because y'all get shitted on the most, and y'all do a lot. Y'all take a lot. So to all the fathers out there, Riker saying Happy Father's Day to you. And I hope that you got to enjoy the day, hang out with your kids a little bit, but also like you got some time for yourself to reflect. Hope nobody was like, oh, you got a tie. Fuck that tie. Suck this nigga's dick. Or, whatever his favorite thing is. Because he's a father and he deserves to have a day just about him. Mother's Day is always about mom, and we don't just get mom's mops or Dysons or some shit. If you a lady out there, you listen to this podcast right now, if you didn't do whatever it is that your man, the father that's in your life really likes, then you failed. But you have the opportunity now, as I'm reminding you, to take care of that father in your life. I don't care if it's your grandfather, your actual father, or the man who made you a mother. Take care of them niggas, because fathers are in rarer and rarer to find these days, which is really sad.
It's not rare. It's that we don't raise young men to consider these things. Number one, watch who you have fucking children with.
Correct.
And if you don't have anything to teach your children, don't fucking have children. Like, what's the fucking point of having children? Oh, I fucked up. All right, own it. Well, she gonna take me to court. Well, you knew who that bitch was before you stuck your dick in her.
Straight up.
And then pull out. Like, nigga, you have to deal with the consequences because you're a fucking man. All right, I don't want to hear this bitch, that bitch. Don't be running to your mama. Ain't none of her goddamn business.
Nope, your mama wasn't there when y'all was fucking, and if she was, that's really weird.
Nigga, you need to man up, take care of your motherfucking kids, and teach them something. Because I don't want to hear nothing. I'm about to take this from somebody. I don't want to hear nothing about no white man, that motherfucking woman, none of that shit. Nigga, in the end, it's on you.
Completely on you.
And I'm talking specifically to you black men.
To black men.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear nothing, oh, that girl a bitch. I don't give a fuck. You got to go through the court system. Nigga, you know what it is. You knew who you was dealing with. And if you didn't, then nigga, then why didn't you get her pregnant?
Correct.
Plan your children. Plan. Don't just be going. If it happens, nigga, you got to own up. And the worst that come with it is the worst that come with it.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. I don't want to hear none of that fuck shit. Like you bitch ass niggas complaining. And then like our women. Like if you knew what he was when you fucked him, don't expect them to change. The only thing changed was you.
Yep. Correct. Your expectations change. And I'm sorry, expectations is not reality. The reality of things is the reality of things.
Men are consistent, generally speaking. They're monotonous creatures. They're going to do the same thing over and over again. If he can't stop cheating on you, he ain't going to stop cheating on you.
Never.
He can't get no money. He probably ain't going to get no more money.
Nope.
He is what he is. You got to figure out what confines that'll work for both of you guys. And if you are out here and you don't have any kids and you're thinking about having a kid, have a conversation before you have a fucking kid. Because I hear this thing about fathers don't do enough. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Correct.
It depends on exactly what it is. Because if it's a girl, what does a man have to teach a girl? Only thing I think a man can really teach a girl is to not be scared.
Correct.
You take their fear away, and the example you set for whatever kind of man she should want in her life or something close to it.
Yeah.
Because that's her first example. And her mom is also going to be the first example of how a woman acts. Because generally speaking, I don't know if y'all know this, how many girls you've ever talked to that are just like their mom. It just takes a while.
Almost every single one.
Just like their mom. It just takes a while.
Yep.
If her mom was like, you see her mom ratchet, blah, 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 she going to be ratchet. We got to have standards in our community, and we don't have those anymore. Because I know this whole culture goes on. You can do whatever you want to do as long as it don't affect me. The problem with that I always say that it's going to affect someone else if you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You believe that too?
Yeah.
Because you say that a lot.
Well, my main thing is I don't care what you're doing. I understand that it's going to affect me in some way. If all you niggas is out here dealing drugs, that's going to affect the kind of community, and I'm probably not going to live around y'all.
Coons.
Nah, they straight up coons. At the same time, I also don't want to live in a world where people feel like they have to do certain things for society, because I see what kind of world that has left us with, which is we talk to a lot of like our grandfathers and whatnot, and they never got a chance to do the things they really want to do because they were like, well, society wouldn't want me to do. I feel like we need to find a good middle ground. If I'm saying that you can do whatever and you're saying be responsible, or you can do whatever provided that you're responsible for your actions, and you're saying you need to really think about the actions that you do before you do them, but you still ultimately are in control, then we can find that middle ground, because we have to be open to a diversity of opinions, and also the fact that there's going to be some times where we both right and we both wrong, and you got to take that part.
What it is, because I think we didn't talk about it on the podcast, right?
No, we didn't.
When it came to, I think I sent y'all a video. I sent y'all a video earlier about what Gabrielle Union did when she took Dwayne Wade's son to a pride parade
At 11 years old.
Huh?
What did she do?
She took their son. They believe him to be gay. Right, but he's 11 years old.
He said that he's gay, but at the same time, he's also an 11-year-old child.
Nigga, you should not be bro, I don't care if you're gay. Like, it is what it is. But you're 11. You don't know what the fuck you are. What the fuck are y'all doing? Like, I'm disappointed in Wade in that aspect. Like, I'm just like, I feel like you're putting your son up in front of gay men and just going like, he's gay too. Like, what does that look like?
Looks pretty bad.
So my question, not saying that I disagree with this, but just supposing in the Socratic method, what age do you suppose would be okay for a kid to come out and say, I'm gay, and you'd be like, all right, you're old enough to make this decision? Or do you think that's something that a child can even make?
It's not a decision a child can make.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think sexuality isn't really...
Even straight culture, I won't push that shit to anybody. Like, nigga, like gay, straight, anything sexuality based, you're 11.
But you do have to have that conversation with kids about sex before then.
Oh.
So what age are you comfortable with that?
They have to know what sex is. And I would say around 11, 12, 13.
Okay, so you talk about sex at 11, 12, 13.
There's no way in hell,
do you
gonna hear
have?
what I'm about to say. There's no way in hell I'm telling my son that there's a sex when you can stick your dick in a man's butt.
I mean, I wouldn't expect you to. I don't expect any father in a heterosexual relationship or vice versa to have a conversation. Like, I wouldn't expect a lesbian couple to be like, you could also have sex with a man and it would be totally cool. Like, I don't expect certain things, but my thought.
How does that work? Hey, shoot that question out for everybody.
everydayblackmen@gmail.com. Shoot us out. How does that work?
Yeah, like
if you're in a lesbian relationship,
lesbian, hell, even gay, like
well, of course.
Even though I don't believe you're supposed to be having children, but hey, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, that's a personal opinion.
That's not a personal opinion. That is science.
I mean,
like you again, this society is built on you not taking your actions as serious as they are.
No, people can have kids. Again, you can have a surrogate. So surrogacy
that's
is
not
thing.
natural. You're going around the choices you make. You can't say I'm gay. If you're gay, you have to accept what comes with it. And that means you cannot procreate.
No, that is not true, because surrogacy's been around since the beginning of time, where people have been like,
at that moment, then they are not gay. They are then straight.
Well, no, their sexual preferences didn't change. The fact that they wanted to have a child.
You cannot have children if you are gay.
No, you cannot have children in a gay relationship. You can have children outside of that. Before, it used to be you'd have to get fucked by somebody. Now with science, especially with the Terminator, who I'm glad we're throwing that reference in, he's made it to where 50 women around the world have had children who couldn't otherwise have children. He doesn't specifically go for LGBT people, but he goes for any woman who's like, I want to have a baby, but I can't afford whatever. He's like, I'll give you some cum where you live. I'll come and give you some cum right now.
Yeah, that's some fuck shit, nigga. You ain't gonna be there for your kids.
I mean, no, he actually, what's kind of crazy about this, I'm glad we're talking about, all the women that he's fucked, they have a network. Like, they created their own social network where they just talk to each other, and like whenever one of the women gets pregnant, the other ones just send that girl money and other things. It's kind of like a cult, but they send each other like money and
I feel
diapers.
Like we're going left, and I'm just still so curious about what the fuck is Arnold Schwarzenegger doing. Like, I never even.
No. The guy's just called the Terminator. He's not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's not a real guy.
Okay. No. It's not actually Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I never heard of this story.
No. We'll talk about it later. Again, I get what you're saying is your relationship can't bear fruit, but what people have been doing, and I want to say that happened in at least, I think it happened to Daniel, whereas like he wanted a son and he kept fucking chicks until he had a son. And then he gave it to the queen and was like, all right, here, you're going to raise a son now. But he was like, look, we're going to keep fucking. I'm going to keep fucking until I get a son. So that aspect, I think, has been here for forever. However, I don't think it's been quite as easy for people to have children, regardless of whatever their sexual preference is, until now, where it's like literally, if you're a gay man, you can just have your sperm and your partner's sperm put into these little things and go to a woman over in another country that's not doing so well.
You should not have no fucking children. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't give a fuck. Like, you don't gotta like it, and that's my opinion. I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. You are two men with sex. Innately, you're saying that I want to have sex with a man, right? So to me, that means that you don't want children. I know you're saying that you want children, but you need a woman to make children.
Now I'm going to suppose on top of that.
Go ahead.
But you consider bisexual men to also be gay.
They are gay.
So if bisexual men are gay, but they can have sex with women and have children and have sex with men, then they destroy your entire model.
No, not necessarily, because they're just gay. Now, the reason that they're bisexual is because well, then let's go with black people.
We can only speak for black people.
Yeah, we can only speak for black people, being black people. I got kicked out of the group for this. Will never meet a woman who is heterosexual and thinks that it's okay to have sex with a gay man. Well, let's not say have sex with them, but carry on a real relationship with a bisexual man.
I met a couple of them that have had relationships with bisexual and queer men, which that's a whole nother topic we're not getting into.
We can't. We don't know nothing about it, but you think so those women took those men serious?
They took them seriously. Now, of course, a lot of them wanted the man to be on PrEP, but that's just a smart move to fucking begin with. If you're a man indulging in any
those people are weird and get the fuck. I just don't think.
No, you can't conceptualize what they are getting at.
But generally speaking, you're saying that's normal in your circle?
No, I'm not saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying it's
rare.
Normal. I'm saying it's rare. Okay. But I'm saying that we can have someone who's like that, who says, yeah, I want to have sex with women and have kids, but also want to have sex with men. And I'm going to be like, all right, this is really not my business. I don't really care. At the same time, I'm not going to be like, all right, cool, let's go hang out and drink beers and you can tell me about how you like sucking dick. Like, that's not my thing.
Right. Well, again, let's go back to this. Do what you want to do.
Do what you want.
I just have an opinion on it.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go back to that. Do what you want to do. I just have an opinion. I don't think you should be able to have children because I don't think you have shit to teach them.
Now, sorry, one final question. I gotta know this from my own thoughts. Are you okay with gay couples saying, let's say they say, you know what, I don't want to have kids, but I'm okay with adopting kids?
No.
Okay.
Because it's the things we don't, unless we get into some deep issues that we don't talk about, like especially with gay men. I always speak for men or speak about men because I don't give a fuck about women. We're allowed them to run rampant here, and it is what it is. But men in particular, sexual molestation amongst gay men is underreported, and we don't talk about it.
I mean, the reason it's underreported is because it's mostly happening with the gay men who are in the closet who can do whatever who can't do whatever they want versus gay men who are out of the closet. But also, this touches the line that we can't go into.
Correct.
Because most of the time, the sexual molestation comes from gay men of color who then have a relationship with gay men who are white, who oftentimes can use whatever privilege they want to keep pushing those boundaries. Kind of like those guys who they'll date a woman and then they'll be there one night and they'll be like, hey, let's have sex. She says no. And they'll basically keep pushing it until they get something kind of with like what they want. For these gay men who have privilege, they don't give a fuck about what your safe zone is because they're like, look, at the end of the day, I can just out you right now. Fuck up your whole life, and it's not shit you can do back to me. And that is a problem that we really can't get into because we're not part of the queer community, but it's a problem that I've read about.
We can have an opinion about it.
I mean, no, you can have an opinion about it, but there's a difference between having an opinion about it and having it truly informed. But
even like the domestic abuse rates, those things like
domestic abuse rates, they do not report on those at all. But again, I think part of that goes to we act like it's something that is, we're in the South, Georgia, unnatural. So why would you do any reporting on that? If you look at something as being, to ironically state queer, because queer originally meant strange. If you look at something as being strange, then you don't give a fuck about what's happening in that strange situation because that's not whatever. So in order for us to really get the kind of numbers, like it's going to be really interesting in another decade to look back at gay marriage rates. because it's like, all right, marriage has been available since 2015. How many people actually decided to get it in places where they legally could? I'm not talking about Alabama, because we know that's God's shithole, so whatever. But in places like California, where, you know, people have always been kind of toeing that line for a long time, what do the marriage rates look like? Are they similar to heterosexual ones? Are they worse? Are they better? Are the divorce rates higher? Like, we'll have all that data.
I don't think they would give
years.
us that data unless it's all positive data, because the media itself.
Well, no, it's going to come out, though, because